be done. Come on here. The first thing he said, let this hour pass. Oh God, what hour was he talking about? He was talking about the hour of separation between him and the Father. You see, you got to understand, even while he was on earth, he was not separated from the Father. Can I talk to somebody? The only thing that could separate him from the Father was his sacrificial death on the cross. And why was that necessary? It was necessary to bring you, to bring me, to bring you back to the Father. Oh, hallelujah. God had to pour out, tell your neighbor, God had to pour out the wrath upon his son. Bull's blood couldn't do it. And notice, Jesus didn't come to die for cows. As much as some of you talk about you don't eat pork, Jesus didn't come to die for pig. He came to die for 2-foot man. 2 feet man. Man with all his flaws. Man with all his temper. Man with all his rage. Man with all his passion. Have you ever seen a man in passion? Jesus have mercy. He would lift up a house. Talk to me, church. Have you ever seen a man, in rage? Come on here. He would leap over walls. Come on. And when he come back to himself, he looked at it and said, my God, did I do that? Church, there is something that Jesus wants to offer. So he said there's life and death. Mourning and weeping. Why is it that we have to mourn? There are some things that happens in our emotion. We're emotional being, you know. As much as we act tough, tell your neighbor tough. Sister Val, there's something out there will break you. Oh, God. There's some things we face, you know, we can laugh at them. But there's some other stuff, tell your neighbor, break you, break you. Break you. Break you, break you. Jesus was a strong man. But when he heard the message of his friend's death, the Bible said Jesus, the shortest verse in the text, and somebody learned that today, the shortest verse in the Bible, Jesus wept. Co-pastor said John 11:35. Jesus wept. Jesus planting and plucking. You don't plant and pull up at the same time. Everything has a cycle of life. When it is time to plant and when it is time for harvest, we plant in the spring and harvest or uproot what we have planted in the fall. It is God's cycle. Tell your neighbor, it is God's cycle. And he has appointed a season for life also. Slide 7. Killing or executing justice and healing. Verse 3. When a person deliberately commits murder, a time is set for the execution of justice or for killing the murderer. The Bible supports the killing of a murderer. The Bible said, whosoever taketh a life, his life also shall be taken. Somebody say, Pastor, you believe in capital punishment? It's not me, it's the Bible. And I stand where the Bible is. God's holy word commanded that the murderer be executed. This too has been ordered by the Lord. There's some Middle Eastern country, if you steal, your hands are cut off. So when you go to that country and might see a man with 2 of his hands gone, you know he's a thief. And a professional thief too. Because all they would have to they wouldn't have to take off my hand. I would watch them take off a thief hand and I would stop stealing. Because some of us, have a way of learning by our own mistake. But I love, Brother Facey, to learn from somebody else's mistake. Because if I know the law of this land is that my hand be cut off, Sister Andre, from a thief, all I have to do is to see them exercising it one time. And although my heart is full of thievery, my man said, no way. There's a time for tearing down and for building up. Verse 3b, from the planting stage of a new building to the grand opening, the progress